What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Auto Endeavors YouTube channel. Today we're going to be taking another look at the Ford Maverick history and just talk about it a little bit and just things of that nature. So let's dive right on in. So basically, the Ford Maverick was released by the Ford Motor Company in 1970. It was released for a specific clientele and during a time where people needed a car more than ever, realistically. And it's interesting because the Ford Maverick came out in 1970, but it only lasted around a decade, just a little bit shy of a decade. Around 1978, 79, they really started phasing out the Ford Maverick for other models in their overall lineup from the Ford Motor Company. But that isn't to say there weren't many different offerings of the Ford Maverick. Now, an interesting thing is, it was originally released and originally produced as a two-door coupe in a sort of fastback style. As you can see on your screen, it looks like a Mustang, but just the value version, so to speak. So it was for those individuals who didn't need a fast car, didn't want a fast car, didn't want to pay for a fast car, and just needed something, but wanted it to be a little bit sporty and a little bit sort of fun to drive or useful, so to speak. But over the course of the Ford Maverick, they released a different model, and that is in 1971 they decided to release a four-door version of the Ford Maverick. Now, the four-door version was marketed at a little bit of a different clientele. It was marketed more for people who were driving others around on a constant basis. I believe Ford realized that the coupe model, although it was somewhat popular when it first came out, just didn't fill all the needs of everyone. And Ford Motor Company has been known to try their best to put out vehicles for all of their different clientele. And there are many different individuals who have many different vehicle needs. And so the two-door model only fit the needs of certain individuals, and the four-door model opened up a lot more doors for them moving forward. Now, the Ford Motor Company also offered a more luxurious trim line, and they offered many different trim lines throughout the history of the Ford Maverick. But the interesting thing to note is, brand new for the year 2022, they have introduced the Ford Maverick again, only they have introduced it as a full line pickup truck. Now, it is not a full-size pickup truck, but it is a pickup truck style. So there's a couple of things to note about this new Ford Maverick. It really moves along a lot of the same lines of the days of old, where Ford was trying to put out a vehicle that was meant for everyday use and meant for the everyday common man or woman. And they are keeping with that tradition and using the Ford Maverick name to call their latest pickup truck addition to their model lineup. Now, this truck is geared toward a very specific group of individuals, and that is, this truck is meant for the everyday common man and woman. More and more nowadays, car buyers are choosing to go with sport utility vehicles, otherwise known as SUVs, as well as compact utility vehicles, otherwise known as CUVs or crossover vehicles. There's many different names and there's many different things people call them, but basically the moral of the story is most people are searching for larger vehicles because they like the ability to move stuff when they need to. But they're finding that they don't always need to move stuff, but it is nice and handy when the time comes for them to need such a vehicle. Now, in the past, many people resorted to hiring other individuals or simply renting a truck-sized vehicle for their needs, but people are finding it more and more convenient just to buy the vehicle outright that has a little bit more utility attached to it and then using it as needed. Because when you take out the middleman of needing to rent a truck or simply find a friend who has one or pay a service to use their truck, it's much more common and much more economical and on more people's minds when they're buying their vehicle. It used to be that people just bought their vehicle to get from point A to point B, but the auto industry is ever changing, and nowadays people are more likely to buy a vehicle that they know will come in handy if they ever need it for more than just getting them from point A to point B. Another selling point of the Ford Maverick that kind of goes along with the old Ford Mavericks is the gas mileage. Ford is saying that this truck has the ability to get up to 40 miles per gallon on the highway. It comes in a hybrid model as well as an EcoBoost model, both being marketed as gas-saving engines and options. And the Ford Maverick really hit the nail on the head back in the day in that the Ford Mustang was not known to be very gas-friendly. However, when the 70s came around, gas prices were different from where they were in the 60s when the Mustang originally came out. And so they were marketing this sportier kind of compact, more economical car that more than likely got a little bit better gas mileage and was a little bit easier to maintain and a little bit more cost effective. So that is another selling point that the Ford Maverick has going for it. And that is another thing that makes it similar to the days of old. So Ford decided to use the Ford Maverick name for its latest pickup truck, and it came with a lot of controversy. There were a lot of individuals who thought that it shouldn't be used for a pickup truck, but there are also many individuals that are very excited for this release. These trucks are already hitting dealer lots, so they are already available for purchase. They are also available to order from your local dealer, and they are selling like hotcakes, and they are proving to be very popular amongst car buyers for the year 2021 and for the future of 2022. So overall, the Ford Maverick has an interesting history behind it. There were different models and different trim lines, but overall, this has always been a name that Ford has used to market an economy vehicle that has the ability to be used for everyday uses and fit the needs of the current market in which people are buying cars. So that wraps up today's review of the history of the Ford Maverick and some of the differences and a lot of the similarities between the days of old and the days of new. At the end of the day, Ford made a very interesting decision to use the Maverick name to market their latest pickup truck. But nevertheless, I would love to hear you all's comments and your thoughts and opinions down below. So be sure to leave a comment on this video. Be sure to hit that like button. It really helps out the channel a whole lot. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you have not already so you can stay up to date with future updates on the Auto Endeavors channel. And with all that being said, until next time, we'll see y'all.